whatever Polyphony Digital's done when it comes to the microtransactions and absolute fucking grind up the arse, that's absolute dog shit. So, focus on making a good game with good pacing, with good everything, and just make games fun. It's not that difficult. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Yes, podcast. It's going to be another Sony day. So yeah, another Sony day. We've got Francesco wearing the same shirt again.
Yeah, I have many of them.
Yeah, we've heard that. And Alessio, still frozen.
Frozen. Yeah.
Frozen.
Like
Like
Elsa.
oh God! Don't start singing "Let It Go." Let it go. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of Sony in a bit, but we'll start off. Well, we'll start off with the CD Projekt Red. We don't know a lot, but go on then. Go on then, Alessio.
Yeah. Well, the Witcher fans have been waiting for this for quite some time, and now it's official. A new saga of games is coming, and interestingly, the teaser image features a new medallion, which shows a lynx instead of a wolf. So this all seems to point to, another playable character other than Geralt. Of course, it's very much early days. They've said it's not coming anytime soon, but still, fans are already speculating whether it will be, maybe Geralt will be a supporting character, or maybe we'll play as Ciri, as many had surmised even just after The Witcher 3. But at the same time, as far as I know, there is no. We'll have to ask Francesco, but as far as I know, there is no Lynx school. Technically in the lore, right?
Yeah, in the books it's just cat, wolf, and griffin, I think.
Well, Lynx is.
So yeah, they expanded it a bit in the games, but yeah, the School of the Lynx is completely new.
Yeah,
Lynx is a cat.
Yeah,
it's kind of a cat, but because people thought it was the medallion of the School of the Cat, but then one CDPR employee, I don't remember who, said that it's actually a lynx. So it's going to be a new one. It will be interesting to see what they come up with.
In other words, it's the School of the Big Cat.
The Big Cat. Even if people like to trash on Cyberpunk 2077, I think the story was good. So I think they'll be able to pull this off again. How it will play, it's anyone's guess, but
I don't think the concern is the story. I don't think Cyberpunk was amazing. But...
Yeah, but people have been trashing Cyberpunk 2077 for the story too.
Yeah, I'd say I don't think the Cyberpunk story was amazing or anything. I do think
it
certain
was
things
serviceable.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if you compare it to The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077 is about. If you gave Witcher 3 a 10, just as setting the bar, then Cyberpunk was about half of that at best, I would say.
I'm not sure because there are a lot of side quests. There is one in particular in Cyberpunk 2077 that's very good, and I think it's going to be expanded in the expansion.
To be fair, I think the side quests were better than the main.
Yeah, there are things that hint at more.
That was also the case in The Witcher 3, actually, because even
true.
So it's not really new, and generally it's a sign of a good RPG when side quests are even better than the main story. But
you know what it is with The Witcher 3 is that many people started with that, but there were 2 games before that, and then the books, so it was a more established world. I think it was just easier to. Even Cyberpunk 2077 world was already established, but not in the same capacity. So I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
would have been a bit more difficult for to flesh it out properly, because The Witcher 3 doesn't need to build the world or set the lore. It's already there. So that's why it's probably
yeah,
easier to get into that story.
yeah. True,
Cyberpunk
and
2077 has to actually introduce the world for the first time, because it's not.
yeah, and
I
also
don't know
yeah,
how
of course,
popular it is. So yeah.
they worked with the creator of Cyberpunk 2, but it was also a jump because originally Cyberpunk it was like 50 years earlier than 2077. The original Cyberpunk RPG tabletop. I mean, so yeah. But interestingly, now that you mention it, we must remind readers and followers of the podcast that CD Projekt actually renewed their collaboration with Sapkowski a couple of years ago. So they are also supposedly making this, with this collaboration in a way. So I hope and believe that they won't just come up with stories that wouldn't fit the lore. So hopefully it will be still very much all according to Sapkowski's worldview
I
for
think
the universe.
the issue we've got is, I mean, they're moving to Unreal Engine, which should help. But the issue we've got is that they're now moving to a brand new engine, so they've got to get used to that. They've got to essentially build assets from scratch, everything else. So I think we're going to have an issue. I don't think we'll see this Witcher game until 2026, if that.
I don't know.
It will take a long time.
I think it could come out in 2025. I don't think.
Eh, if they rush, yeah. Just the concern is if they rush it, because if they want to make another massive open game, another Witcher 3, another Cyberpunk. I mean, another Witcher should be easier because it's back to a lot of open areas, not massive dense cities, and one massive dense city. But I think the thing, like, we've got to remember when Cyberpunk was sort of announced, and then it didn't come out for about a decade.
Well, yeah, but then they've said that they were wrong to announce it so early. So I don't think they're announcing it as early as they did with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm guessing 4 years, 2026. You've got to give them a bit of delay room, because I also wonder, even then again, people won't give a crap if they work people to death. The regular gamers don't care, so yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Just wondering
the
if they don't
interesting
want to
thing,
avoid the backpack. Yeah.
uh, the interesting thing is that they may, 2025/2026 is also when probably Bethesda will release the Elder Scrolls 6. So they probably want to avoid being in the same quarter at least.
Oh yeah.
So well, that will be an interesting one. But as you said, they are partnering with Epic, which does not mean it will be exclusive to the Game Store, by the way. So that has been already clarified. But yeah, of course there will be a ramp up time. But then again, the Unreal Engine is so well known in the industry that they really won't have any issue, just hiring a few developers and showing the others how it's done. It's really quick and easy to learn, even for newcomers, let alone experienced developers. So I think, of course, there will be a learning curve, but it will be brief, and ultimately, it will probably allow them to develop faster and iterate faster than they were able to do with their own engine. So I think ultimately it will actually help it make it faster, make the game.
And it's not like their engine was perfect, because I remember bought The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 and a lot of bugs at launch.
Oh,
Yeah.
especially the optimization for consoles. The Unreal Engine is much easier
Yeah,
to optimize for
that's
consoles.
true.
Yeah, it's made for that. I mean, it even scales down for mobile, so
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
it's perfect in that regard. And also, there is an interesting tidbit in that part, which is basically that they are working with Epic to improve the engine also for open world games. So basically, their work should help other open world developers eventually. So it's an interesting tidbit.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't know. If you're talking many years away, so, and I still think they probably, yeah, like you said, they've definitely not announced it like they did Cyberpunk. This is what we're going to be working on next. You will see it when you all hit old age pension at times. But yeah, I don't think we'll see it within the next. Yeah, you may be right, 2025, but I'm still going 26 just to hedge my bets.
Yeah, but they had to delay it at least twice.
Yeah.
That's what
So
already happened with their latest game, so
yeah,
it's
we'll see.
likely it will
We'll
happen
see.
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah, we'll go before we go on to Sony. We'll go for the other one. Something just an utter bullshit story. Rockstar, Take 2K, Take Two, whatever. They're all bastards. Go on. I'll let you talk about it, Francesca.
Well, yeah, I don't. I never played Grand Theft Auto 5, so I haven't played Grand Theft Auto in a long time. But it seems people are liking Grand Theft Auto Online so much that they needed a new subscription service for it. I don't even know how, if the in-game economy is fucked up, that somebody would need to subscribe to this service and get all these extras. But probably it probably does if they launched it and people are going to subscribe to it.
I mean, it's weird because GTA Online has been around for over 8 years at this point, and now they're just coming up with this, even
You
though
know,
they
I
evolved.
feel like they're setting the stage to keep it going even with Grand Theft Auto 6. Otherwise, it doesn't. I don't think it would make much sense to launch a subscription service for a game that may be abandoned in 2, 3 years.
I
No, maybe
don't think
less
they'll
than
abandon
3 years.
it. They'll people.
Yeah, I think they're just going to expand it. Like if they add the new map based on, or they add features based on Grand Theft Auto 6, because
Yeah, that's
otherwise
what
it would make sense.
that's what Pachter said not long ago. He basically said they're taking so long to make GTA 6 because they want it to be like the ultimate GTA, and it will have maps from, of course, remade maps from all of the previous GTA games, like London, like Vice City, so Miami, New York, so GTA 4, and of course GTA 5. And you will be able to move between them, to do robberies, heists, all of this stuff. Of course, this also will be true for GTA Online, in all likelihood. Well, the new version of it. So, yeah, they're likely going to keep this subscription model as well for the new version of it, and I guess it's a way to perhaps secure, because of course microtransactions were already huge in GTA Online, but maybe
Generating
they
a
want more.
billion plus every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess subscriptions are another option for those who want even more. I don't know.
I just don't get it. I played GTA Online, and I mean, the loading times killed every single part of it for me. But
I think they fixed that though.
yeah, I'm still not. I'm not installing it again. I don't care. I just don't care.
I mean, the thing is, GTA Online was quite riddled by bugs and cheaters, especially on PC. So hopefully, the next version that comes with GTA 6 will be less impacted
I
by
get
this
the
kind of
feeling
issue.
that they'll have to keep it because that. But the issue is, it's like the GTA dollars and all that. It's just extra stuff to buy. Yeah, I'd sort of lost interest in it because everything. Well, they've made the flying DeLorean that shoots rockets, and they've done. You've got super yachts, and I just don't think there's anything worth it. I understand it. People like GTA, they want all that, so they waste millions of pounds or dollars or whatever you want to call it on GTA dollars. Fair enough. People do that on every game, but it's just not for me. And yeah, not for me. It's not the sort. When I was first playing GTA games and thinking GTA, well, Grand Theft Auto 3, and thinking this would be great online, and playing like the online version, like what you could set up, it would always fun, but I don't know, there's just nothing persistent, or nothing feels persistent about GTA Online. It doesn't feel like you have a real impact on the world, it's just doing stuff for the sake of it.
Yeah, it's not much of an MMO.
It
So
would have been better if it were an MMO.
It'd
That
be
made more
very interesting.
sense.
It would be very
Yeah.
interesting, but I don't know how you'd manage that. Yeah, I don't know how it'd get managed, but it's something to think about. I just don't. Rockstar will not move to another version of GTA Online now. They'll, like you said, they'll just upgrade it. They'll upgrade it. They'll do big updates because, like I say, people have literally spent billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, pounds, money on getting these in-game things. For Rockstar to then say, if they just made another GTA Online now, all of this got lost. I just think that'd be such a massive negative. Yeah, their image would get slaughtered. I
yeah,
don't think people would buy into it again. Some would, obviously, but I don't think it would to the
Well,
extent it has.
people already didn't buy into it because Red Dead Online is it's not really alive right now.
Well, I was going to say, and I mean, that's it. Red Dead Online is that so few updates, and that's because people just don't. Yeah, you've already got one big version. You don't
Yeah.
need GTA Online horse version.
yeah, but it's also I think just the gameplay style of Red Dead Redemption is much more suited to single player than multiplayer. It's just very slow, compared to
Yeah, I
GTA.
remember.
And but the interesting thing is that this GTA Plus right now it's only available on next gen consoles, so it's not on previous consoles or PC either. So that's interesting. I wonder
Yeah,
why.
I suppose it's just to try and incentivize people who may not who might buy it for the PS5 or Xbox Series and may not have bothered with GTA Online before. Essentially, it's like pay us this much a month and you get to catch up quickly.
Yeah,
But then again, it's a subscription, so yeah, you get to catch up while you're still paying the monthly fee, so it's still a waste of time. And I mean, the money that they deliver you, 500,000, that's nothing in GTA Online world.
Yeah, and I think you just get it once. At least that's what
Yeah.
the description says. So I don't. This is why I said I don't know how fucked up the in-game economy is, so that
Yeah,
this makes
it's not.
sense.
That's not worth anything. I think it's because you also get access to like certain vehicles and whatnot, houses and things that just don't that would normally cost you a hell of a lot of money. But
I
again,
mean,
you probably lose access to them as soon as you, yeah.
unsubscribe, yeah. But yeah, at least it's just quote unquote $6. So it's not, there are much more expensive subscriptions in
There
other
are,
games.
but those subscriptions probably give you a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's bullshit. It's just more signs that Rockstar. I mean, we know Rockstar's all quite greedy and everything. Anyway, we know exactly what Rockstar's like. They've been infested by the Take-Two virus. They're lost to the world. They are lost to the world. So there's no point worrying about it. We saw that with the remastered trilogy.
Mhm.
And to be fair, the way they've trapped people for years and the way they treat their audience for years and everything else. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'll buy the next GTA when it comes out because it's still GTA. It's still fun, or usually fun anyway. So yeah, that'll do me.
Mhm. Now for the big one, Sony.
Well, yeah, multiple things with Sony. Let's start with the piss easy one. They bought a new. Well, have they bought the studio? Or are they just like backing the studio? Don't
No,
think that.
no, they bought it. Uh, so yeah, previously they were partnering with it,
Okay.
but they hadn't bought it yet. Now they said they acquired it, so I'm guessing it's at least the majority stake. So they haven't
Okay.
said how much they paid, but I guess it's not a lot because it's a new studio. Even
Yeah.
though there are talents like Jade Raymond, and even we already knew it's making a AAA multiplayer game for PS5, and the previous announcement said PC as well, but we don't know if that's still the case. We'll see. Uh,
Not to be a bit harsh, but how I don't really know how talented Jade Raymond is. Obviously, games aren't made by just one producer or director, are they? And I mean, in reality, her last two games have been a bit. Yeah. I mean, Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, I enjoyed for what it was. Played that. And then Star Wars Battlefront 2 was absolute dog shit. And then, well, we know what happened at Google. Nothing.
I mean, to be fair, at Google, it was really hardly her
Oh no,
fault
I
or.
definitely don't blame her for what happened at Google. That's just Google.
It's Google,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they were like they bought the studio 1 year and then the following year, oh, you haven't made the game yet, so bye.
Yeah.
They're too
Yeah.
slow. We need a new game every 6 months
Yeah, I gotta say,
in
I don't.
in their heads.
Yeah, I certainly don't blame. Certainly can't blame her for anything like that. And I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much she sort of gets involved with, acting as the producer or executive producer. Obviously, it's an important job. It's a massive important role. But the people below that role are the ones who create the games. I don't know. Like, did she come up with the idea for Assassin's Creed, or I don't know.
Well, yeah, she was among those who produced the IP originally, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I know she. Yeah,
But,
she was the producer. Yeah.
um, no, as you've said, of course, the games nowadays they are made by big teams,
Yeah.
and even is important, I think, in the PlayStation studios. roster because it is located in Montreal, which is arguably the world's biggest hub in terms of game development, or well, at least one of the biggest. So it's also the one studio that Sony has in that area. So it's a new opportunity to draw talent as well for those who live in the Montreal area. So it's interesting. I mean, the studio isn't massive yet. I think they have about 60 developers. But clearly Sony liked what they've seen of the game so far, because they could have just left it at just publishing the game. Instead, they decided to purchase the studio outright, so they must be doing something right. Yeah. So, well, this is just another hint that they are going towards live service, which brings us to the next part of the topic, where basically PlayStation Studios had Herman Alst. But while on the other end, on one end, he said, "We'll always make single player games, so fans should not be worried that they won't get another, I don't know, God of War or The Last of Us or whatever." But at the same time, he also said that the space of live service games that Sony is pursuing so aggressively of late is exciting for the company.
Yeah,
so,
for the company. The company. I'm not sure.
With that said, I leave it to Chris.
Well, it's all like, you can have single player live service games. The whole aim of live service is for something that keeps getting updated. It just they keep updating something, it brings players coming back for more, and they can sell DLC. They can do whatever else. I mean, or you can have the online version of live service where it is an online game and people buy skins and cosmetics. I mean, live service is just a catch-all term for something that gets updated. It's like, but obviously it's more updated and more ways of making money on a longer tail. So essentially, like one live service game, which is still it was a single player game, and I always mention it. No Man's Sky. It obviously became it's very much a multiplayer game now, but it was single player through and through to begin with. And so that's the perfect live service game. Bloody hell, he's still getting updates to this. They're going full throttle. The thing about making a live service game, it needs to just be a good game. I don't think it's that difficult to just make a good game. Just do that. Don't determine right up ahead it is going to be a live service game, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And Sony must know that. I mean, I don't think Gran Turismo in 512 is a live service game. It's just shit. Whatever Polyphony the game, the driving when it comes to the microtransactions and absolute fucking grind up the arse, that's absolute dog shit. So, focus on making a good game with good pacing, with good everything, and just make games fun. It's not that difficult.
The problem is that when they build games around microtransactions and live service stuff. Because I noticed this with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. When it released, it wasn't as bloated as Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But now I went back to the game with Dawn of Ragnarok, and we're back to the old stuff, bloated. And the problem is when you get more content out, but it's essentially all the same.
Yeah,
that's another problem.
To be fair, I've been saying this about I've been saying that about Ubisoft games for years now. I just call it that Ubisoft game. That's I say this about non-Ubisoft games. I just say it's another that Ubisoft game. It's an open world game so packed full of tedious miscellaneous shite with no import or no use. It's just content for the sake of content. And games don't need that, and I don't know. I mean, Sony's got they've manned 10 live service games coming over the next 4 years. Obviously whatever Bungie's going to have, the Last of Us multiplayer thing, which whatever. Just whatever. I suppose I'm more interested in I mean, what are they gonna have Insomniac working on? I don't. They can't. I'm gonna say.
I mean,
yeah, go on.
I mean, I'm just hoping that they revive Resistance and possibly that Guerrilla does the same with Killzone, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
suppose the
it's
one
just,
that I'm always interested in Insomniac because they make Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, I could see them. Yeah, they could revive Resistance as a online shooter. That would sort of make sense.
Problem is that the market now is so full of this type of
Yeah.
games. I don't know how much they would stand out.
But
These two series that you have mentioned, but I don't know really.
yeah,
They really need to be something very, very different to emerge from the rest. Because back when they were released, there weren't that many. At least from what I remember, there weren't that many first-person shooters. Now everyone is making them, so you really need to do something truly different to stand out.
I suppose the thing that what sort of interests me when obviously they're making a live service game, and it sort of links back to, well, the second thing we talked about, GTA, London studio. I mean, I don't know if many of you played it when it was out way back when, but they developed The Getaway.
Yeah,
We could have sort of we could essentially have, an online version of that.
I remember that it was a massive disappointment when it came out, though. I mean, it was supposed to be the next GTA, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, well, there was that. But, developers learn over time and all that. Yeah, so, yeah, well, no, yeah, so, it was London studio that developed the sequel to Getaway, but yeah, it's still a Sony thing. And developed by, in fact, not developed by, the director of that was the useless pleb who made, L.A. Noire. Brendan McNamara, I remember that.
Yeah.
God. I wonder if we'll ever see L.A. Noire again. Probably not.
I can see it. It's a VR game.
Well, yeah.
If you take out the city roaming stuff, I think that would work.
I think they did make eventually a VR version of it.
Yeah, the VR case files. Yeah.
Yeah.
L.A. Noire VR case files. That was,
Yeah.
probably about 4 years ago now or something. 3, I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I don't know then. So, yeah, my worry is, and I just genuinely worry that Sony's just seen, same as so many of us, they think, oh, live service, it's making Ubisoft billions over the years. But, I don't often say much about much praise for Ubisoft, but they got the live service part right.
Yeah, and we'll just have to see if they screw it up like they screwed up GTA 7, at least in the beginning, with the microtransactions thing. So
I don't
it's
say. I still say same as I said last week. I don't know if that was Sony higher ups dictating that. I just don't. I don't know who's to blame for that. Someone is to blame. There is blame. But God knows.
I don't know. See, it seems like they don't really have a strategy set because they're just, going from one place to another, changing things. I don't know. It seems like they're just like throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. Well,
It just seems
that's
very
a
random.
good term for it. Shit.
But the good news, Chris, is that you're getting 1 million credits.
You're rich.
Yeah, and also they promised that in April they will increase payouts for several events. Other seemingly improvements. So
I
hopefully,
might turn it on sometime. In the next
and also they will
5
include the
decades.
ability to sell cars. That's interesting.
They're doing
So
what
you
now?
basically they will add the ability to sell cars.
Okay. Well, see, I don't get why that wasn't there already. It's like, in fact, I'm sure you can sell cars.
I mean, I haven't played it yet, but it seems like it shouldn't be possible if they announced it. It will come with the next update. So
Or is that selling cars to other players?
I don't know. I think it was back to the I interpret it as back to the manufacturer or whatever, not to
Well,
other players.
they just said include the ability to sell cars. That's it. So it's not
Yeah.
specified to who you're selling these cars back.
Well, if it was if they allowed selling to other players, then that would be big. I think it would be
I
a
don't
huge
know.
difference.
I must not, because I just thought I'd sold cars before, but because when I've received like another, the same car as I already own, but I must have just deleted it. I don't know. I don't know if I got credits for the cars I got rid of now or not.
They will also add endurance races, including 24-hour races.
And
So
rightfully bloody so. What they
are we
need to
going
add
to
though
get?
now is a good. What, go on.
Are we going to get a live stream of Chris doing a 24-hour race? It will attract billions of viewers.
People just listening can't see me just shaking my head now. 24 hours. I'll die. I'm
You
tired.
won't.
I'm getting old.
It's
I
just
mean,
24 hours.
you don't get to look
It's not a lot.
You don't get to look this good without having your beauty sleep. Laugh at
But
me.
maybe you get paid a lot of credits for
I
doing
don't give a
it.
shit about credits.
You can buy all those fancy cars.
You can pay me
in-game.
real money if I'm doing that.
Yeah, like I think it was about Elden Ring that someone paid, basically a digital escort, another person to play the game alongside them, and
Yes, I linked you that story. Sad bastard.
and but it took them like 40 hours to
Yeah,
finish
but
the game.
didn't he pay something like $10,000 just to, sit
Yeah,
there?
probably more.
A stupid amount of money, paid $10,000+ just to have some woman play the game with him, topless or bottomless or
Yeah.
whatever. Why? And not even in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
People
might
are
as well
weird.
just go to a safe spot, turn on Pornhub and have a wank. Silly bastards.
Yeah,
I don't understand people.
He could have used that money much better.
Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah. Only if you do the 24 hours race.
If you
Yeah,
want to pay
that's
me 10 grand to do a 24-hour race, I will do that 24-hour race. In fact,
We're
I'll
going
do
to crowdfund something.
You pay me 10 grand, I'll do a 24-hour race, and then I'll just have half an hour's nap, and then I'll do another 12-hour race. For 10 grand, I'll for 2 days' work, I'll gladly do that.
Time to donate, people. You don't want to miss this. Time to donate.
But hell, I'll
Yeah,
do it topless for 10 grand.
Ooh.
okay, let's not. But okay, I guess.
But if somebody donates, you'll have to do that.
I'm just there. For 10 grand, I'll do whatever they want.
Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah, let's let's wrap it up and just talk about what we're playing.
yeah.
Go on then, Alessio. What MMO are you playing now?
Well, still Elder Scrolls Online, obviously, and just been finishing some Ghost Wire Tokyo stuff. The side quests.
I was thinking about buying that today. I don't know if I should or not.
Well, you can read my review, but yeah, it's a pretty good game. I think it's worth it if you are into action adventures with a supernatural twist. That is not too scary because it's not. So that is up my alley. But also, I've played Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. So the preview will be up by the time this goes live. So I can talk about it a bit. So, well, basically, I think one of you must have played The Council, right? From the same developer?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it is very much of an adventure game. Well, at least the mission I played, it was all about moving towards this, moving through this environment, which was basically a banker's house, and you had to find absolutely all of the hints, all of the information, all of the cues, and in order to do that, you also need to exploit your abilities as a vampire. But interestingly, you can only use those abilities if you have fed. And of course, if you feed, there is a risk of getting spotted and losing the masquerade. So it's all quite complicated. And the interesting part is that by the time I was basically finishing up the mission. Basically, I had to rescue this banker and escort him out of his house. The thing is, the police was already on the spot, and eventually, I had to use my powers to, for example, mesmerize these these officers away or stuff like that. But the more I used those powers, and the angrier my character got. And the developers explained that basically you can even eventually you can get away from the officers, like you get into the elevator and you are about to extract this character. But if your character is too angry, then you will just attack him, succumb to the thirst, to the anger, and just attack him himself and kill him, basically. So it's an interesting twist. And
Did you enjoy it? That's the question.
Yeah, I did. Of course, it is a peculiar type of game. It's not action in any way. So even fights are technically done via dialogues. So you're basically comparing your attribute points versus the other character's attribute points. So in that way, it's very much like the tabletop RPG. So it's following the rules quite closely.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'd say if you are into games like For example, Sherlock Holmes and games of the sort or the Council. Yes. So it's a narrative RPG basically. It's an adventure game with lots of RPG elements on top of it, and it seems interesting. Of course, I'll have to play a lot more to know for sure, but there isn't much much else to wait for when it comes to Vampire the Masquerade, since Bloodlines is still MIA. So I'd say for Vampire fans, this should do the trick in the meantime.
Oh, it's making me sad now. I was meant to have been reviewing Bloodlines 2 last year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen at this point.
Not happy. I might have to play Bloodlines again now. Oh, and then, Francesco, what are you playing?
Well, I played one thing that I can't talk about because, yeah, I can't. And same stuff as last week. I completed.
Is it one of those adult games?
Sorry?
One of those adult games. That's why you can't talk about it.
Yeah. And so I completed Triangle Strategy this morning. Got a shitty ending, so I'm going to replay it again to get the true ending because I wasn't satisfied. But yeah, the game, I think we talked about this already, but it's a very good game. It's a shame that we didn't review it because I really think it deserved a little bit of time in the spotlight.
Do one. Do a late review.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Might. Yeah, I might. It's just other stuff's coming and just piling up.
Well,
But maybe.
Well, no, but if you've already played it, then you don't need to.
Yeah. Well, I completed it once, and I'm probably going to complete it twice. So yeah, for the rest, I'm finally playing properly Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin because they finally patched it and it runs a little bit better. At least it doesn't go into slow motion mode when doing things. So I'm finally started it proper, and then I'm still going around in Elden Ring, my second playthrough, doing stuff.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I could guess what you're playing now, but yes, we can't talk about it. So I will just talk about what am I playing? In fact, I've not been playing a massive amount because I've been going to music concerts all week. I've had work and then music and music and music. I went to see a rock group called Chris Barris Band live. Then I saw Stereophonics. Then I saw Feeder. That was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, all booked up. And then last night I saw one called blues good singer called Chantel McGregor. So yeah, I've been busy watching music rather than playing games. The game I did play, which, well, it's only just come out, an indie horror game, Expedition Zero. It's not that good. That's all I can say about it. Atmospheric enough, but not that good. I don't like bullshit games where where you see the big bad enemy and your usual response is, "Oh, not that fucking cunt again." That was my reaction all the time. It's like, "Oh, not this cunt again." It's not like I'm afraid of it. It's just like, "Oh, piss off." And it's what you would say if you saw like a Conservative MP outside your door.
Well, before, unless you have anything more to add to your music exploits, or
I have more gigs this week.
Nice.
I just wanted to say that I've seen the first episode of Halo, and personally, I've enjoyed it quite a lot.
You've seen the first episode of Halo?
Yeah, the TV series.
It's out.
Yeah, it came out a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
from my reaction, I'm going to say I've not seen it.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I thought the visual was very good. It was very much clearly taken from the game and adapted properly. And it was also clear that they were doing a lot to remind people of the games. Like, for example, even the fighting style. You had Master Chief, for example, switching from the assault rifle to the grenade, and then to the infamous pistol. You know, the pistol, and also you have the same sounds, for example, when the shield is recharging. So it's very much the same vibe you get in the game. And personally, I thought they also handled the plot quite well for the first episode, and even they even managed to get him to remove his helmet in a way that wasn't too forced, I thought,
Okay.
because
I'll
it
give it a
was
watch.
yeah. So basically, there you have it. The spoiler is that you get to see Master Chief before the end of the first episode.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good start. So we'll see. There are, I think, another 8 episodes, and then they have also another season already ordered, and Paramount Plus, the streaming service. It's on. They're said that basically it's the biggest premiere they've had to date on the service. Which, of course, it's not as big as Netflix or Prime Video, granted,
Yeah.
but still, there
I'll
were.
give it a watch.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I haven't been the biggest fan of Halo, at least when it comes to the story in the past few games. But it's interesting to see that maybe the TV series can get it right, at least.
Well,
If
we
the
should
game
all watch.
ends.
We should all watch it and have a quick chat about it next week. Then.
Yeah, if you can, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that's everything from me. Yep. In that case, we will call it a day and say goodbye to everybody and tell us more music and probably video games. See you all in a bit.
Bye.